Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're back at it on the greenhouse. Fingers crossed we're gonna get close to complete today. I don't expect we'll be 100%. There'll be, some things that I'm gonna do after the fact, but the goal today is to hopefully get all the panels in it. We've still got to do a little bit of work for the roof, and of course we still got to build the two front doors for it. And I'm gonna actually put on some aftermarket automatic vent openers for those two windows up, well, 4 windows up on the roof. We'll see how that goes. I've been at it for like an hour already and I haven't made a whole lot of progress. I've got the automatic opener on there, but there's some clearance issues that be kind of hard to explain. But essentially what I'm gonna have to do is come up with some sort of way to create a gap between where the bottom of the automatic opener latches, because where it V's, I need it to be a little bit further open, and so where it mounts to the frame of the greenhouse, I need that to be thicker, so that 1, it'll push that down, and 2, honestly, I'm afraid that because of how flimsy it is, that when it wants to open, it's going to push the aluminum down and just bend it. So I think what I'm going to end up doing is probably cutting out a piece of plywood or maybe some 1x that's wide enough to fit between the rafters, and take the existing bolts out and put longer bolts in that track, and then bolt the wood up there to support it, which will also allow me to mount the bracket lower. I'm going to think about that a little bit more before I go try and build and execute that and make sure that it works the way I think it will. So I guess in the meantime, I'm gonna start constructing the door. It is actually several more hours later. I've worked on building one of the doors, and my dad got here and we started working on this again. And this is what we come up with. How well you can see that, but we had to get longer bolts, reinforce that aluminum piece that catches the window, and then expand it so that there's enough gap in between there to clear. That's what we've come up with, and I'm pretty confident it's going to work. And so I just need to replicate that 3 more times, and we'll finally be done with the roof panels, and then we might make some progress today. It's a new day. We spent the last day, pretty much the entire day trying to figure out what I was going to do about those windows, but we came up with a solution, and I think I already showed you some of it, but looks like it's gonna work. So to summarize, we needed to, create that gap, as I said. So I put a piece of marine grade plywood across there to reinforce the aluminum bracket, which would be right there and right there. And yeah, looks all right, looks good, but it took pretty much all day to get to that point. The only other thing I was able to do as it was getting dark yesterday was went ahead and ran a few screws through the corner posts, so through the aluminum and into the corner posts to tie everything in. I've still got to go back and kind of figure out how I'm going to tie the posts together, but for the time being this is sufficient. And I started putting a few wall panels up this morning to figure out how best to install them, because the little metal clips are kind of a nightmare. So I'm gonna show you what I've come up with. They make a tool for it. I'm not gonna buy a tool just to do one thing. All right, I'm gonna start with the post here. So when we set the post, what I did is you can't set it exactly in the corner. And I don't know if you'll be able to see it through there, but the head of that bolt, actually it's probably the nut on the inside, interferes with getting this post all the way to the corner, and I'm not gonna try to notch out these boards to do that. So I set them against the outer edge aluminum frame, and then as far in as I could get it. And what that allowed me to do is tap through this, so drill a pilot hole and tap through this and into the post. And I did that on both supporting pieces in all 4 corners. So for now, there's 2 screws in each corner holding the frame down. There will be more, but that's where we're at for the moment. You can see our little solution here. Got some longer bolts. We ground off the heads so that they would slide into the track, and then just put it up there. Nothing fancy, but I think it's gonna work. All right, so you're not gonna be able to see all this super well, but I'm gonna get this in here. And then show you what I did. All right, so these are the clips, and essentially if you're holding it like this, these slide in like this, and these two ends, so if you're holding it here, it'll go in like this, and you'll have these two ends inside this little track here. The problem is that most of them look, if you look them up, more like spread out. So what I've done as I've been installing these is bending these out a little bit. Now that probably takes away a little bit of their holding power, but I'm gonna run screws through this polycarbonate, so I'm not overly concerned. But what I do is I'll hook this in there, press this down, and then you can use your fingers to push it the rest of the way in, but if this springs back, it will wear out your fingertips and it hurts. So what I did was just get something that I can use to help press it in so that it doesn't smash my fingers. So you can use a little pry bar, or I tried a wide screwdriver. Just be careful not to jam it into your polycarbonate, and try to keep your fingers clear of this when it wants to snap back, because it hurts. All right, so I'm not gonna get a whole lot else done today. I did get all of the side panels on both sides done, and a couple of back panels in, but one, my thumb is, well, hurting right now. Those things suck, those clips. But two, today is my wife's birthday, so I need to run out and get a few things. And so the last thing I'm gonna do today is actually put, there we go, some self-tapping roofing screws in. And we're gonna run these in through these polycarbonate panels and into the aluminum. That way they don't blow away, because I don't trust these clips. All right, well, that was easy enough. Self-tapping screws went in with no fuzz at all. So I think I'm pretty happy with how that's going to turn out. But it's time to get going and make sure my wife gets taken care of today. So wish her a happy birthday. Thanks for watching, and hopefully next time we'll be wrapping this thing up. Hey, welcome back. It is another day working on the greenhouse, but I've got a lot of updates to show you guys. Hey, pig. Makes my day when they come running like that. Although I think they probably think I'm trying to feed them. Anyways, we did quite a bit more work on the greenhouse yesterday, and admittedly, I basically got it finished, but I didn't really get any film because the neighbors, which is an empty field right now. I think they're getting ready to build over there, because yesterday they spent the day cutting a driveway, and I've seen them down there marking water lines. So I think I'm about to get new neighbors at some point. I've suspected they might be doing something over there, but yeah, hopefully they're friendly. Here we go. 42 outside, and we're 78 degrees in here. I'm loving it already. All right, so the only thing you probably missed was me putting the roof panels on. And it's really the same as putting all the side panels on. There are, a couple of additional things that I did, and I'll probably make a totally separate video talking about all the modifications that I'm making. But to quickly summarize, we put the panels in, put the clips on, and then I ran roofing screws through the panels and into these aluminum like struts here. And I did that on all the exterior panels. The only exceptions are the ones in the eaves that don't have a panel to be able to fasten to, and the door panels. But we are going to go back, and I'm going to use some aluminum tape to seal up some of these, because they don't seal like at all. And then I'm also going to go through and put silicone on a lot of these roof panels to make sure that at the edges, I don't know if you can even see it in the video, but that panel on the roof, and there's like two others, are kind of raised where it's just bowed, and I want to make sure those stay down. And there's no way to make it stay down that I can see without like taping it or siliconing it or something. So there'll be plenty of modifications like that, plenty of stuff on the inside that I still need to do. We got a lot, but we have a supported frame, and I'm excited. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this whole build process. Hopefully I covered some of the details that are maybe a little harder to understand from the directions, and maybe it'll help make somebody else's build a little easier. If you have any other tips or suggestions for myself or anybody else that may be watching, please feel free to add them. And yeah, if there's anything you'd do, differently, or any additional, critiques, I'm open to, seeing where we can make this better. So thanks for watching. I'll show you some more stuff here about this soon, and hopefully I'll see you again next time. Either way, have a good day. Thanks.